Podcast Show.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Myers, and welcome to the Rich Myers Podcast Show. I'm here today with Patrick McDowell.
Yep.
Um, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Just started cracking up because I have 7 long-ear miniature dachshunds that sleep around me and on the couch in my office. And they heard your dog and they all took off running out to the back door like, where was
Oh,
someone's here? So they never cease to amaze me and they're my full enjoyment. But I'm doing well, thank you. Doing well.
I listened to your track. It's your choice.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. What influenced the song?
So yeah, that was it's actually a cassette that we recorded back. So I was real involved in our local church in San Jose in the Bay Area. And I was music director and youth minister and had a great following of singers and musicians, probably on an average mass, there could be 8 to 10 or 12 of us. So I worked all the arrangements with the standard stuff out of the hymnals. And one of my friends, Manny Saez, and I started working on an album from stuff that we just came up with. Manny was brilliant. He could sight read and transpose on any instrument instantly, and kept me pushing. But we wrote that. He was getting ready to go into the seminary, and at that point, I had decided, after 6 or 7 years working with the Catholic Church, that I was destined to become an outpatient Catholic. I did my time, and I said, "Thank you very much. There's a lot more." But we wrote this album together, the songs, and sang on them, and had a lot of people come in, and it was just something that time in our lives that Mandy ended up falling into substance abuse and now has been clean and sober almost 40 years, and the relationship with his ex-wife now and his daughter. And we're just, we talk probably once a month. And I was looking for music that I had played on. Never used YouTube for anything except for like 2 or 3 songs where I posted something like a song about my dog. Um, and so I just plugged it into my system and converted it onto the computer and thought, this is a great album. But I picked one of the less in your face songs. And it just brought back some amazing memories and laughter sitting in the studio downtown in San Jose. My friend owned a recording studio, and I ran a club at the time, and it just it just evolved. We had it ready and mastered in less than 30 days. And that was just one of those that very you could tell it's very late 70s, very 80s pop, the electronic drum machine doing its thing. And it was a great time in my life that I found that my spirituality comes from people, places, and memories. Um, Especially like music. You look behind me, and I have friends up here that have passed on, but I maintain that relationship with them in my heart. This gentleman that's right behind me on that poster was a surf buddy of mine in California, Jay Adams, the originator and founder of the Lords of Dogtown, the skaters in Venice Beach and surfers. And then, and this is a t shirt in the red frame his mom sent me when they had the paddle out, and I was here stuck working in Texas. And his mom got my address from a buddy of mine, and she sent me a t shirt of his memorial paddle out. There were almost 800 surfers showed up to bid their goodbyes to Jay Adams. He was so crucial, in that West Coast surfer skater thing. And then back over here, just memories. There's a piece of the Berlin Wall that I picked up when I was there for the Wall tour. When Roger Waters said, "Hey," though I said it, the wall came down, and so I flew out with some friends, and we stayed at another friend's in Germany, and was there in Berlin walking back and forth like this across checkpoint Charlie.
Oh,
So, with memories like that and experiences like that, it's always revolved around my music and music with others. Like right now, I'm working on my last public gig is going to be at the end of this month, playing solo piano at a friend's winery. It's a Cuban made wine, and he and I just met through a sister-in-law and brother-in-law that she plans out when they come out from Houston to Fredericksburg, just west of us. Oh, we're going to go to this winery and have sandwiches at this place and go. But it's like a dartboard tour. It's like, wait, we're here. We're going to go home, but you have us going here, 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 here. And the winery is called Siboney. And so this young man, just
Oh,
college kid making a living, was pouring the wine and talking about it. And I kind of interrupted him and said, "What is this? Where's the name come from?" And he explained to me that it has to do with the owner's family. And I said, "Okay, it's interesting because I have been to Havana twice on music, art, um, experiences with one of the local junior colleges in Santa Barbara, Ventura College. And my girlfriend at the time was a professional technical writer and photographer. So we brought photography students, writers, two film students, and one other music person. And we spent 10 days in Havana. And one of my buddies and I just decided to walk from Havana south across the skinny part of Cuba, just walking through villages and towns, and hung out on the beach that called Cienfuegos. And so there's a song that I have. I will find it. It's probably on a zip drive somewhere. But I was telling this young man that. Then this gentleman came over, and he looked like like Fernando Rey from the old TV show Flying Nun, and he dressed like that in the silk cotton suit. And we talked about it, and I mentioned, where did he come up with the name Siboney? And he looked at me, and because I explained, he goes, "Well, why do you ask?" And I said, "Well, because that's considered Cuba's national anthem. And it's just interesting to find a winery that uses that name." And he looked at me and said, "How do you know that?" And I explained to him I'd been to Havana at that point. Now I've been twice. And he looked at me and said his grandfather wrote the song Siboney. And that's where the winery is, out here. So
oh,
on the 23rd, I'm playing their electric Yamaha Grand 3 hour set. I'm throwing in Supertramp. I'm throwing in some Genesis. I'm throwing in some Lyle Mays, throwing in 40s and 50s jazz. And it's just going to kind of be my last hurrah, because my hands, after 60 years playing piano, my hands just don't do this very well. So this is where I'm getting interested in these streams and digging up music, going, okay, I do remember doing that. Like, I listened to the cassette that I sent you, the one song, and just thought, wow, it's been a beautiful, blessed career, and I'm not ever going to stop. I'm just going to do it at my pace, and on my terms musically. So that one just came from my youth and my beliefs.
okay. Uh, let's take a listen to
Awesome.
it.
Keep on walking, it's a long, long road ahead. You gotta make the right decisions. You gotta seek out good instead. Keep on
Good song.
Yeah.
You got do you got any other songs, concerts, and what's next? So,
You mean for today or down the line?
yeah, down the line in the future.
Yeah, I've got, you know, that was it. And I'm just laughing, remembering times in the studio. I think we had, so that had to be about 82 or 83 that we wrote and recorded that. I had just
Well,
left working with sequential circuits where I helped design and program the Prophet 5s and Prophet 10s, and I wrote the manuals with my boss, Stanley Youngleaf. So our offices, I never got work done because people, they were always knocking on the door, and I'd take them to the studio and I'd show them how the stuff worked. And so we worked with Roger Lynn with the very first Lynn drum machines, and there's a everybody used it in the early to mid 80s. It was that hand clap with about 10 claps at one time. That was like us imbibed by shots of tequila in the studio and going one, two, three, what? So everybody was not quite on beat, but that became used everywhere. And I was listening to those drums going. I think we had three drum machines and we were all doing something on it, and the engineers did that magic. So now that the technology is what it is, I do have one keyboard in here that I use. I have my workstation. That's my Roland piano back there. That's digital and it's MIDI, and it has a bunch of nice sounds that I write the basic stuff on it, and then I now use the Arturia Astrolab. Just brilliant machine. It has capacity of holding 8,000 sounds. So I'm
wow.
finding sounds on tapes and on flash drives and putting them in there. Um, my goal is to have 8 original pieces. Some of them are some that did with my old music partner Tim Conrady. We met in a garage jam band in high school in the late '70s, and we wrote dozens, if not hundreds, of songs. Now, it was that stuff is, and I'll send you those. It's very Tangerine Dream. Very. We worked with Alan Strange. We tutored his music, electronic music class at De Anza College, and Morton Subotnick. Also got to work down the line with some of the greatest electronic studio synthesizers, teaching them what they were doing wrong and how to make sounds. Like Suzanne Ciani, Tim and I worked with. Oh, what's her name? I forgot her name. She became a she after living a whole life as a man. One of the top premier synthesists. But we just I was all about electronic music, and so a lot of this stuff was we would back then we'd like get stoned and sit in the studio during the holiday break because no one was on campus, and we would just compose music like through the Starfield, and we would just sit and keep the sequencers going in that. Some of this stuff I'm listening to going, it's pretty good. We wrote one together that I think you heard. You may have heard it, Metal Bird, on that other
Yes,
podcast. We wrote
yes.
that in less than 40 hours. We were awake for 32 ish hours. He was up north, I was in Santa Barbara. We wrote that and pulled sound bites off of the from the television. We took audio outs and recorded them on cassette and then put them into the Ataris. So a lot of this stuff is very, I don't even know how to describe who it would be, but it's very astral, very, like the fact that Voyager's been is sending pictures of the Earth from 8 billion miles away, and it's only been out there for like 6 years. Just going along. So Tim and I wrote a lot of stuff like that, and so I'll send you some of that stuff because when I listen to it, we have one called Ad Astra per Aspa, which is the saying at Canaveral for the astronauts,
Mm.
and it's pretty cool. We I sent a copy to a gal that I used to date 40 years ago that actually spent 30 years or 25 years working on the space shuttle program, and they gave me permission to use some of their footage for it. So I'll send you that one because it's got video attached to it. You know, and it's just when you watch it and you listen to it, it just takes you to that next dimension or higher plane of consciousness, as somebody said. And I don't know what that means anymore, but again, it's a good escape.
We're running out of time, so
Yeah,
thanks for being on the show today. And
I
maybe I
appreciate
can
it.
have you
Appreciate
back.
the opportunity. Yeah, yeah. And I'll send you stuff, and as you think, hey, you'll fit me in. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.